How has the pandemic affected your year at Durham?
Not too badly.
I mean, I'm kind of a Zoom queen, self-professed.
I think the restrictions make you more grateful for things that used to be very ordinary.
Been that I just have had 0 contact hours.
I think if I talk about my social life, I might get a fine or something, so I'd rather not talk about that.
What on earth? No, there's so many more coming. Oh, Annabelle. Hi, I'm Lizzie, and I'm currently stood outside the Student Union in Durham, asking students walking by, how has the pandemic affected your year?
Probably the best thing that happened with the pandemic is I got closer to my family.
I think on a surface level it's been impacted in quite a similar way to everyone. Like I was meant to be taking a gap year, A-levels cancelled, that sort of thing. But I think how it's properly affected me, like in the grand scheme of things, nothing like that really matters. I've ended up here earlier than expected and have loved it, so it's all been fantastic. So that hasn't really mattered.
So we're first years, so we don't really know how to compare year at Durham to any other year. But we've had a very good time.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it, as you can tell. We're out for all socially distanced,
Mario
30 people
Kart
outside. Mario Kart theme.
Yeah, so he's King Boo, I'm Toad Guy, and I think we're going to be racing around on little scooters and having some fun.
In myself personally, I've become less scared of being myself, hence the blue hair and why I look like this.
So I do a sports degree, so playing sports mainly in my life, so I haven't actually been able to do any squash or anything, not being able to meet my teammates, so that's been a bit annoying for me.
I think the restrictions make you more grateful for things that used to be very ordinary, and I think you can just derive a lot of joy from that and find happiness in very small things that didn't used to be the case necessarily. So that was a positive thing that came out of it.
Yeah. One thing that springs to mind is walks. We have a walking queen over here. I would see Emily on walks multiple times a day, up and down the Bailey with everyone.
Get my 25,000 steps in. Yeah.
Very good, very good. Charlie, we're both from Johns. I feel like we've had a similar college experience. How do you think the pandemic's affected college life then?
Well, partly I wasn't here in second term, so that obviously affected it massively. And then first term really got to know my household really well, which was a great blessing. And then this term been able to meet loads more people in Johns, which has been really nice, spend more time with them, play sport with them, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's actually, the way it's worked out, it's been really great.
Yeah, I think I love your household. They're one of the best in Johns for sure. Horton, full of lovely people. So yeah, I imagine that was really lovely.
Yeah, it's a great mix of people actually. But yeah, they're all great. We get along really well.
I'd say definitely starting university and having a slightly different experience to what I was expecting at first. And just not maybe meeting as many people, but then it's been so lovely having Christchurch and being able to meet a lovely community of people. The same with John's as well.
Yeah, I think lots of people who don't go to our church will say that it's one of the best social networking platforms in Durham.
So good. Yes, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we're very fortunate for that.
At university, well, you know what? I think it's made me realise that it's really up to your own your own approach. I think if you're positive and optimistic, you can make the best of it. And I think COVID has really made me say, okay, I want to have a nice time. I'm not going to let that stop me. So
I can identify with that so much.
Yeah, so I don't know, it's meant that a couple of things have been different, but in my college it's been really good because I still have been able to meet other people. And yeah, I think it hasn't affected it too much. That said, I haven't had a normal, freshers or normal year, but for me, this pandemic has been a normal one for me.
I'm so glad. I'm so happy for you. How do you feel like the pandemic's impacted your studies?
Well, it was quite difficult because I was obviously in my final year, so everything had to be done online, and it meant I just couldn't meet supervisors, or I couldn't meet my dissertation person who was in charge of me, so that was quite difficult. But I'm quite lucky because I don't have many lectures, and there's only 40 in my year, so seminars were already quite small, so I didn't mind that much, but I quite enjoyed going in and making friends, and yeah, kind of 50-50.
Well, I'm a first year biology student, so the biggest impact has been that I just have had 0 contact hours pretty much. I've had, I think, 3 hours in the lab in Michaelmas term, and other than that it's been absolutely nothing, and so I don't know any of my lecturers, I don't really know where the labs are, I don't know how any of the equipment works, and so the practical side of, you know, a very hands-on subject has been kind of completely wiped out.
Like, as a history student, I've had more contact hours than that, yes, and I don't even have like equipment to get my head around.
Yeah, I think it's been quite difficult. I know a lot of people in humanities who have had like lots of tutorials in person and stuff like that, and I think that for a degree that is so centred about the practical side of things, having just had, I think, 3 hours in a lab is not quite enough to really boost me into a biosciences degree. And I think it's probably going to be throwing me into the deep end a little bit next year when I have to finally find everything and work everything out. But I'm sure it will be a learning experience, yeah.
Yeah, and like everybody seems to say first year doesn't count. And when it does count, it's very like difficult to go into something completely blind.
I think that's the issue, is that, you know, first year may not count towards your final degree, but if you want to get an internship or anything like that, the grades that you get towards the end of it are important. And if someone, you know, is still deciding whether they want to pursue a career in biosciences or just kind of use it as a stepping stone into something else, it can be really difficult to work that out, because if you've not been in an actual lab, how do you know whether or not you like the hands-on stuff?
All of the lectures and seminars have been online, and that's the worst, because you just don't get these sort of experience, and the teaching feels, you know, not quite up to standard, but also, you know, the social lives and societies and all of that, it's not as it should be. You know, we can't go to colleges, we can't meet new people as easily, and we can't, you know, do the sports or engage in the groups that we want to.
This is all true, but Joe, from knowing Joe, he has not missed out on any friendship opportunities. What would some people in Durham call you?
The guy with the red North Face jacket.
Yeah, like he's pretty...
Maybe a beanock, maybe.
Yeah, what does a beanock mean, Marcelin?
A very well-known person in the college, or in the university, really. Yeah.
Yeah, it stands for big name on campus.
My learning has been affected very much. I can't learn from online learning at all. I find it very difficult to learn. I think online lectures, especially with philosophy, because I studied philosophy, it's very hard to do philosophy online by yourself. I think if I talk about my social life, I might get fined or something, so I'd rather not talk about that.
It hasn't really. I'm not going to lie, it hasn't. I've just been doing what I usually do.
Okay, that's wonderful. Any elaboration, or you want to leave it there?
I'm sick of his posh accent already. But apart from that, I'm sound.
I mean, I'm a fresh, so I wouldn't really know what a normal year looks like, but I think the applications process for me, that's what I have most experience with, and it made it very arduous. So I didn't get my offer until 2 weeks before I came to the uni.
I remember seeing this. People were so in such distress.
Yeah, it was quite upsetting, but I mean, it's not as upsetting as actual coronavirus and people dying, but it's been a bit of a bummer, to say the least.
How do you think the pandemic's affected your social life? First year is all about socialising, and how have you found that?
It's been a bit interesting, I'm going to be honest. I think I've done probably the least socialising out of anyone in my household. I know that you shouldn't have, but I've not left my college at all, whilst a lot of people have been to at least 2 or 3 other colleges, just kind of see who and what is out there. But I've been kind of a little bit of a homebody. I think I'm a little bit stressed about the whole thing. I don't want to get into trouble with porters or anything like that, so I think my social life has been quite curbed as a result. I've recently joined the rowing team, so that has been really nice to kind of get into things and actually meet some people who are on different courses in different years. But yeah, other than that, it's been a bit of a slow year with making friends. It's taken me a while to kind of get my feet really kind of dipped into the social scene at Durham.
So I've done a little bit of coxing, so maybe one day you'll see us on the water, me shouting, Sasha rowing, very fun.
We'll be a team.
I think it's been vaguely okay. I've got on with my household, which was instrumental, because obviously you're seeing a lot of those people where I think in a normal year you'd be interacting with like a whole bunch. But I mean, I feel like I haven't met as many people as I would, but there have been a few online events and stuff. Yeah, I don't really have a comparison point, but I know it's definitely different. I mean, I'm kind of a Zoom queen, self-professed, so I've met like quite a few people online, and as things are loosening, like I'm meeting up with walks and stuff. But I really, I think the rules have made it difficult to like make proper friends, if that makes sense.
I think it's more affected me in friendships. Like I've realised I'd become quite like lackadaisical in how I like met up with people. Like I'd just be quite passive as such, and now I've learned I have to be quite active in meeting up with people, and I've become much more appreciative of things. Like even going on holiday, like I'd enjoy going on holiday, but I'd sort of not be as grateful for it as I should be. So I think it's made me much more grateful for things in life. So.
I think it's very different. I think it's a shame a lot of first years didn't get to experience the opportunities we all had right at the start, because it's where I met a lot of my friends, and you choose your second year house when you're in first year, so I think it has quite a knock-on effect.
This is my first time taking to the streets of Durham, but I'm planning on doing it again. So therefore I'm going to pull the classic YouTuber line: subscribe, like and comment.